On. Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyard. I am Takeshi Yamato, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today we are taking a look at the next of the 23rd century fighter craft. This time we're looking at the Gorn, though it's technically called a pseudo fighter because, well, it's the Gorn, and the Gorn are huge.
Which actually lays into the origin of this thing. When the Federation and the Gorn became allies during the 23rd century, there was a lot of technological exchange. There was just one minor problem. Gorn are big. And so when the Federation and Gorn tried designing a fighter that would suit both of them, the Gorn just went, look, we're big people. No offense, but we're big. So we're going to have to design something to suit us. Jack of all trades is nice and all, but it's not going to suit us.
Yeah, we're not going to fit.
So, they devised a simple strategy, which actually worked out into their favor. They converted a work bee into a fighter. Considering the huge size of the Gorn and said work bees, I don't think you can say they failed, because the Viper class fighter is quite big and quite heavily armed and shielded.
Yes.
In fact, while most craft only have a standard shield capacitor, this thing has a big enough reactor to fuel its shield generators. So they can recharge. Of course, Gorn rarely, if ever, deploy these things in any role except defensively. What you see here are two prototype fighter tenders. Because, well, these things are big.
Yeah.
And because they're big, they can't transport a lot of them on a single starship. So, they decided to deploy them more defensively.
Yeah.
As an example seen here. This is a sector patrol station designed to do one thing and one thing only.
To house these pseudo fighters.
Well, that and utilize sensor systems, allow for repair facilities, but mostly to utilize Vipers.
Yeah.
So, Gorn don't exactly use too many carriers. Not because they don't want to, they are well aware of the success of Hydran craft, but because they're just too big.
Yeah, they just can't. They can't use too many fighters. Now, let's get to the stats for this thing. I can't. Standard, same release date, same entered service date, 2287. And we statted this thing as a shuttle, but I'm tempted to go the next step up. Make it a scale 2 runabout.
You're not going to have much choice, because this is actually one of the most deadly craft the Gorn have.
Alright, Gorn runabout. That brings this up to scale 2 and resistance to 2. Alright, and this is also going to throw off the point totals. Shuttlecraft, the basic shuttlecraft has 19 points plus 10 per plus 1 per 10 years, so 2287, that would have been 27. We already statted that. Runabouts are let's see, runabout, small craft. Runabouts are 29 system points as of 2200 plus 10 per 10 years. So an extra 10 points, so 37 points. As per the original shuttle stats we came up with for this thing were comms 3, computers 3, engines 4, sensors 4, structures 6, weapons 7. That's 27 points. We can add 10 more. I'm thinking at least comms 5, engines 5. Comms 5, computers 5, engines 6, sensors 6. Maybe structure 7, weapons 8.
Most like.
Alright, so 10, 22, 29, 37. Yeah, that's good. And that means we also have an extra department point because it's a runabout.
It'll have to go into engineering.
Okay, so 1 point in con, 1 point in security, and 2 points in engineering. Alright.
Armed with the standard Gorn weapons.
Disruptor cannons and plasma torpedoes. Now, for talents, again, as a shuttlecraft, when we were styling it as a shuttle, we gave it rugged design. Now, as a runabout, it may have up to 2 talents. Possibly advanced shields?
Well, it's got better regenerative shields than every other fighter. Save, of course, for the Lyran ones, but we're not talking about those at the moment.
Advanced shields. Let's see. Yeah, advanced shields. So, derived stats. Scale 2, resistance 2, shield... power 3, shields 8. 3... Shields are the same as power. Power is half engines rounded up. Engine 6 divided by 2 is 3. So shields are 3 plus 5 for the advanced shield. So this thing has 8 shields.
Nasty little fighter, isn't she?
Indeed.
I suppose the only thing we can do now is descriptions.
Yeah, just Gorn runabout.
As for the task force here, this is the 19th Assault Fleet, and was part of somewhat of a controversial event during the General War. You see, during the Andromeda Strike, Melkor, son of Georg, took his forces and attacked the Federation. You can guess how that ended. Now, the Federation Reserve Fleet did what it could to blunt the damage and keep them from rampaging inside Federation space. But the Gorn, who did not take part overly much in the Andromeda Strike, sent a force into the Klingon Empire. Which this spearheaded. And as you might have noticed, the Gorn don't do light ships very much.
Yeah.
In fact, there are only 4 scout vessels. The rest are either destroyers or cruiser-class vessels, with only 2 command cruisers,
And
2 dreadnoughts, and a battleship.
Yeah.
The aptly named Godzilla class.
Yeah.
You know what to say. Good lord, that sounded like you dragging something over a contrabass. which I suppose is fine. Anyway, this task force did a great deal of damage to the Klingon Empire. And rather, let's just say Praxis suffered for it. You could say that this force, as well as Melkor's stupidity, resulted in the Praxis explosion, and of course, the Kittimer incident.
Yeah. They might not have intended it, but their actions did start the chain of events leading towards actual peace with the Klingons.
I'd feel sorry for the Klingons, but they kind of brought it on themselves with that one.
Yeah.
Hell, Chang was tempted to join Melkor until, well, the Romulans decided to do stupid things. Klingon Academy, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So, that is the Gorn fleet. It's abridged history, and it's not so common fighter craft.
Yeah.
Because these tenders were very, very rare.
Yeah.
And they couldn't carry too many.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.